Hi guys. So there's been quite a few questions on the help desk forums about currency exchange market, and so I'm going to go over that today with you guys. Um, what I explain per market is going to be the exact same method that you would use depending on whichever market you went with. So if you were trying to sell or buy DP, it would be the same process as buying and selling FT or WT. So I've got more FT to burn, so I'm going to do it this way. So right here you have the buy section. The buy section allows you to put in an order for how much FT you want and how much you're willing to pay per FT. And it'll calculate you a total amount. So say I wanted to buy 100 DP at $300. That would be 30,000. But I'm not going to do that right now. What you would notice is you'd see down here, there are orders. There's 115 orders for FT currently at $300. And then you have the sell column. That is what you use when you want to sell your FT or whatever currency you're using into the market as well. And it's just like the same as here. You say, I want to sell 100 at the current going rate, which is 340. That's what you would sell that at, and that's how much you would expect to get. Now, that part is not usually the hard part. The hard part is how to read these. So, as you can see here, there's people buying FT at $300 a piece. That order amount is only good for 115 tickets. As soon as 115 tickets have been sold at $300, or unless more people try to buy at $300, the next lowest is going to be $290, and then $281, and it'll just continue on until you get to the lowest denominator. Now over here is what the current selling price is. So this is $340 per FT, and there's 463 currently for sale at that price, which means if you wanted to buy a bunch of FT, you would have to pay a minimum of 340. So to kind of give you an idea of what that is, all right, if I wanted to buy this right now, I would have to pay $340 per FT. And since it would be easy to show a 3, I'm going to buy exactly 3, which is going to cost me 1,200. We're going to buy it. My order was going to be submitted. My order is already successfully filled. And now there's only 460 FT currently available to be bought or sold. To be bought at that price. And of course, just like the buy orders, the sell orders, as soon as somebody buys up the entire stock of that amount, it goes to the next price up. So I just bought 3 FT, at 340. If I wanted to sell those 3 immediately, I would have to sell it at the lowest common denominator over here, which is 300. So I'm going to put in 300, and I'm going to sell 3. And when I press sell, this number should become 112. See, it went to 112. Whoops, it went to 112 right here. And you can also see the world history of what is the most recent up to a certain amount. I'm assuming maybe 10, 15 transactions of what has been bought and sold in the past few transactions. So you can see that I bought 3 at this price and then sold it for that price. And this is a kind of a good way to figure out what exactly is a good buying and selling point, because if there's a lot of people buying at a certain price, you know that maybe you could maybe put it up higher. But in this case, there's 460. You probably would be better off for immediate sale to sell it for 340 or below. Well, not necessarily immediate sell, but if you're willing to hold it for a little bit, that would be where you would go, 340 or a little bit lower. If you wanted immediate sell, you would have to do it this way. Same with immediate buying, you would have to pay this price. Now, say you didn't want to wait. If you wanted to wait, you could do it a different way. So, say I was willing to wait for a while. I wanted to sell some FT. Let's say I'm going to sell 5. That's what I expect to get. However, I'm not going to get it until someone buys it. So I put in my order. It should automatically go down here and see now I have an order for 330, and there's 5 tickets that I'm willing to sell for that. And that is going to be probably the new amount unless someone buys it immediately. Now, say I wanted to do a buy order and I wanted to be the first, hopefully the first to buy. We would go over here and say I want to pay, I don't want to pay 330, 320. Say I want to pay 320 for FT. Now I have a buy order in, and unless someone else comes in, I'm not totally sure how it goes, but I believe as long as no one else comes in, I should be the first ones to get the 5. But for the most part, this is what you would expect for buying and selling. It's really simple once you get the hang of it, but it can also be kind of difficult to understand because it took me a while, and I've been used to currency exchange markets in a lot of games. It's like my favorite thing in the world because I like playing the stock market game, and so this was a really fun thing for me, but even then it still took me a couple days to really process how to use it. And one last thing, of course, if you need to cancel your stuff, you can just press the cancels. When you do put these orders in, it automatically takes your money or your currency. It automatically takes your currency in whatever for that you've picked out, and it'll hold it there until it's either bought or sold. So you won't get your money immediately unless you do whatever the options is as the least or the most buy order or sell order. So hopefully this helps you, and if it doesn't, please ask your questions. I'm more than willing to help answer questions related to this stuff, as well as if you ask on my YouTube, I will answer that as well. Currency exchange market is one of my favorite places and probably the only topic I feel like I'm relatively good at. So yeah, if you have any questions or comments or even helpful tips as well, please feel free to share it with other people.